GR Yaris Ultimate OPF back exhaust system. This is our exhaust system that we would consider to be our road-friendly exhaust system, but not necessarily track-friendly. So we took the kind of decision to make two different systems for the Yaris, knowing that it was going to be quite a popular car for use on track. Not for everyone, obviously, but there will be quite a lot of people that are wanting to do quite a lot of track days and track experiences and things like that with the Yaris. So we wanted two options, one that we could be sure was absolutely guaranteed to pass UK trackside noise tests, and one that's maybe a little too loud for that, but still perfect for the road. So that's this one. On our Ultimate system, we have the options of resonated and non-resonated, as with the track-friendly one, which is the addition of a centre silencer in that mid-pipe. And we use two small silencers at the back of the car. So the idea behind these is obviously to kill a load of volume, but not so much as, to be as quiet as the track-friendly one. These are a 3-inch bore silencer that actually taper down to 2.5 inch either end. We do that internally in the silencer because then we can keep that taper nice and gradual. It's a 3-inch system, and we kind of Y off that 3-inch here and taper it down inside. Doing it this way, there's two ways that you see this done commonly in the aftermarket. One is you'll see a 3-inch split into two 2.5 inch bends like that, and that presents some challenges in terms of getting the fit upright so that you can get nice welds done. And then the other way you'll see it done is where they'll use a 3-inch bore silencer split into two, and that's pretty bad for a couple of reasons. Mainly because you're going from one 3-inch pipe to two 3-inch pipes all the way out the exhaust, and what you've done is just increase the internal volume. So that is a key area where you'll then increase drone. You'll make it unnecessarily loud, and you'll lose a lot of the kind of nice exhaust noise that you want to try and retain. So as you can see, as with all of our exhausts, hand TIG welded on every joint, not just pipe joins, flanges, hanger brackets, everywhere. It's all TIG welded. We do that because A, it looks nicer, and B, you can get a far nicer, stronger weld that way. You'll not find any motorsport exhaust systems that feature MIG welds. It's just non-existent in that kind of world, and we want to bring that level of standard to road cars. We've chosen to use 2-bolt flanges on the exhaust system, primarily because the joint between the OPF pipe and the OE Cat back exhaust system uses a 2-bolt flange. So we could add in some V-bands, we could use some slip joints, but given that there's a 2-bolt flange on the stock OPF pipe, if we want to retain the ability to fit with the stock OPF, we've got to use a 2-bolt flange. And there's nothing wrong with a 2-bolt flange as long as it's been constructed correctly. So you'll see here that we have not only welded the one side of it, we've also welded the kind of what we would call the back side of the flange, and then surfaced it off flat and sanded it out smooth. So there is a weld joint there, but you just can't see it. One of the key things to do is to actually surface this flat after welding. No matter how much we try and keep control of the heat while welding, we are putting just enough heat in there to get a good weld, which is just enough to make the flange warp. And what you'll see with a lot of aftermarket systems is they don't surface that flange after welding, which means even with the best gaskets you can buy, you're never going to keep that seal. And that's why a lot of the time 2-bolt flanges and things like that get a bit of a bad reputation. But again, if they're good enough for Toyota, they're good enough for us. And I'm extremely confident that all of these systems, there won't be any issues with blowing gaskets and flanges. We've also got what we would call our hanger bullets on this system. So these actually retain the hanger bush. Again, you'll see these a lot on OE type systems, but they're sometimes not there on aftermarket parts. and it's a machined piece which goes over this rod. And the idea is once that bush is on there, there's no way it can slip off. You know, really hard cornering, rallying, if you want in your Yaris, you know, you're never going to pull this exhaust off. And you know, I think these are a really key part to the kind of long-term reliability of a good exhaust system. We actually manufacture all of these silencers for our exhaust systems in-house as well, which is something that, again, isn't that common in the aftermarket. The reason we do this is so that, again, we can keep control of the quality and the consistency of the parts we produce, and it also allows us to have complete creative freedom with the exact sizes and then how and what we pack them with. We use Acoustafil PTX, which is a very high grade of exhaust wadding. Often you'll find with the cheaper types of exhaust wadding, they'll have a stainless steel mesh in there as well, because the exhaust wadding they're using can't actually take the heat. We don't need that. The PTX we use is good for 720 degrees, which, you know, I struggle to find any Yaris that's going to push out more than 720 degrees through the exhaust. So yeah, you know, there's absolutely no issues with it degrading over time. We offer a lifetime warranty with these systems because, you know, simply we know we won't ever actually need to resolve any problems. So, you know, it's easy for us to offer that. So we mandrel bend all of the pipes for these exhaust systems in-house. And that's great for us because it means there's a lot less weld joints in things. You know, the less welding you can do means the less time it takes to actually manufacture the part. But what that also does is mean that we can end up with a part which is, you know, essentially more reliable. The less weld joints we've got, the less chance there is for things to fail. Now, I'm confident all of our welds won't fail, but you know, again, this is what you'll see on, you know, again, more higher end exhaust systems, rather than lots of cutting and welding, lots of different bends in the system. You know, we get from OPF to the back box with just one weld joint, which is, you know, which is what you want. You know, the less weld joints you can have in things, inevitably, it'll end up being a better product. So we provide two different tips with the Yaris system. So there's a bit of choice. Both, again, are made in-house. We make everything for the exhaust system ourselves. We got this one, which was our twin slash cut, and then this one, which is our double walled slash cut. Both 3.5 inch. We can make them larger on request, but we tend not to go too large. We can make them in a 4-inch size, but personally, I think the 3.5 inch size fits the diffuser perfectly. One of the reasons the stock tips look so small is because they have a really small internal diameter. The internal diameter of these tips is 3 inch. If you start to go too big on the internal diameter of the tip, what you actually do is create a megaphone, and we've got 2 of them. So, you know, the bigger you go with the tip, you know, you've kind of worked quite hard to make the exhaust sound quite good. As it gets to the tips, if you put some big bucket style tips on the back, you've probably wasted all that effort because it'll end up sounding terrible anyway. So just touch on some of the hardware that comes with the exhaust system. We use Micolor clamps, stainless steel. These are marine grade stainless steel, so you know, these won't be going rusty anytime soon. And even if they do, they are actually designed to fail in a way that when they seize, they actually break away. A lot of aftermarket clamps, as they begin to heat seize, which is inevitable over time, these are quite fine tolerance threads, and you know, they do and can heat seize. I would also recommend putting a bit of copper grease on these when they're installed, but they can heat seize. And these are actually designed to break as they are removed if they are seized, which makes them really easy to get off. We use stainless steel bolts and washers along with copper nuts. The idea behind the copper nuts is that they don't seize to the bolts. Again, what you'll find with mild steel nuts and bolts, or stainless steel nuts and a stainless steel bolt, is again they seize together. It's really common, even with, you know, some other premium brand exhaust systems. You know, things like this are often missed. It's the details. You will need to remove this exhaust system at some point, and if you can do it easily, just by winding a copper nut off. Think about how the OEMs attach hot things to cars. Exhaust manifolds are always used with copper nuts, and it's because they don't seize, you can get them off. So, you know, that for me is something we've always done. It's really key. And then we also include genuine brand Vibrant Performance gaskets. These have a fire ring in the center there. So once that's crushed up, you can get a really nice, good seal, and you should have no problems with them blowing. So if you're looking for a road-friendly exhaust system for your GR Yaris, the link will be in the description, and hopefully all of your questions will be answered in there.